welcome back to another CM reaction video, baby. Let's get into this video today. Today we are going to be talking about Jon Jones is ducking Tom Aspinall and why Jon Jones can never be the heavyweight GOAT. Can never be the heavyweight GOAT. If we talk about GOATs, the greatest of all time, what does it mean to be a GOAT in 2024? Does that mean we take on all covers and fight for our belts? Or does it mean we just run like a coward? Because this man admits that he will happily give his title away and vacate a title. Alright. Next thing. If you ever want to call Jon Jones the GOAT, I cannot take you serious. There's three reasons. Actually, no, there's two reasons. There's two reasons why Jon Jones can never be a GOAT. First, because he ducks opponents when they're better than them, when he's better than him. So when he thinks that he's losing to someone, he ducks them. So he ducked Francis Ngannou, and now he's ducking Tom Aspinall. Yeah. And then you've also got him. He's a wife beater. That's the second point. He's a wife beater. He's a wife beater. If you hit a woman, I think that should take you out of the GOAT status. Also, another thing. Technically, there's three. The third one is that he's a performance-enhancing drug addict. He takes performance-enhancing drugs. Let me tell you something a little bit about performance-enhancing drugs before we get into this video. Performance-enhancing drugs are something that will stay into your body for quite a long while. So even if he hasn't taken a performance-enhancing drug in like 3 years, it's still going to have like an effect on his body, so it's still going to work. You know what I mean? Once you've taken it, it stays in your system for quite a long while. So even though he probably was clean for part of his career, once he took that, he definitely wasn't clean and definitely wasn't thorough. And yep, also we already know that Jon Jones has been beaten before, but the judges never voted against him. But bro, he lost that fight against Ruiz. Make it make sense. Anyway, let's go watch this. Hopefully this will be quite a long video, but I'm back with a reaction, baby.
If you defeat him, will you defend your belt against Aspinall, who has the interim title?
More than likely not. More than likely not. I feel like Tom Aspinall.
More likely not. You are not going to fight Tom Aspinall. He is the interim title holder, okay? He's the interim title holder. That means after you get off the shelf and you've finished with all your injuries, you are supposed to fight Tom Aspinall. And you won't fight Tom Aspinall because you know what he will do to you. Do you know Tom Aspinall has the lowest fight time in UFC history? Do you know Tom Aspinall has more knockouts than Jon Jones has ever had in his career? And let's be honest, Tom Aspinall hasn't been on the scene. It's only been a couple of years that he's popped on the scene. I'd say his amateur career finished in 2018, 2019, I believe. Like, this man hasn't been around for long. He's 30, he's in the prime of his life, and because he's in the prime of his life, Jon Jones does not want to fight. Yeah. And Jon Jones has never fought anybody of his strength, of his speed, and his durability. What happens when he comes up against someone who has all that, add on the knockout power? Crazy.
Is I don't want to say nobody. He just hasn't proven anything. He hasn't.
Man wants to say he's a nobody. He's Tom Aspinall, the interim heavyweight champion of the world, and you're not gonna fight him? You're not gonna fight him? You're not gonna fight him?
Done anything, and I understand that.
He hasn't done anything. Maybe we should go and have a look at Tom Aspinall's record real quick. He only has one loss on his record, and that was because of an injury that was sustained in the first round. And then he comes back and beats the guy who he got the injury to. Oh my god.
I mean, he won his belt against Sergey. Sergey just got slaughtered by someone else. So it's just like, I'm not here to gamble someone else making a name off of me.
So a man just said he just got slaughtered by someone else. Okay, Sergey just got slaughtered by someone else. But Sergey was on a winning streak when Tom Aspinall beat him. Tom Aspinall made Sergey look like a toy. And now he's started to lose. I think Tom Aspinall has a reason.
I'm here to compete against the guys where when we look back, 10 years from now, it'd be like Jon Jones fought this guy and that guy and this legend and this champion and this champion. If there were to be a fight of a guy that's still on our UFC roster that would be not only financially worth it, but legacy worth it, it would be Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira and I, we're both 37 years old. Right now, I weigh about 235.
They're both 37 years old, yep. Man's trying to promote a fight with Alex Pereira. Guys, I want to talk about why Alex Pereira is not a dangerous matchup for Jon Jones. Do you know why that is? Because Jon Jones has really, really good wrestling. And do you know how Adesanya managed to beat Alex Pereira last time? It was through wrestling and grappling enough to get him down to the ground. Jon Jones could beat Alex Pereira quite easier. Is it easier fight for him than taking on the undisputed heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall, baby? And that's true, and you know it. If Jon Jones wasn't ducking, he would literally go, "Yo, after I beat Stipe, you're next." All he had to say was "you're next," or he could go, I don't know how I'm gonna feel until I step in the octagon. I'm gonna grace it with my presence. And if I'm feeling after, then we'll have a fight. Like, he didn't need to flat out deny him because it just makes him look like he's ducking. Also, he wants to move down to light heavyweight. Light heavyweight? Didn't he do that when a certain someone else popped on the scene? Francis Ngannou? Yes.
I'm an incredibly light heavyweight. I think Pereira walks around at 240. And I think that fight would go much farther on my legacy than a young man who's cool today and maybe gone tomorrow. I remember a time when the whole world thought Johnny Walker was going to be the guy to beat me. No disrespect to Johnny Walker, but I mean, we all have seen the way his career's played out. I've just been here too long to get all excited about someone who's hot today. I'm here for legacy.
Stalking. That is wild, though. He did call Tom Aspinall. Well, he was going to call Tom Aspinall a nobody. Who has that guy beaten? What has he done?
Crazy. Get ready. The Weasel is about to drop some facts for you, brother.
In order to get this title fight against me, it's like, bro, he's the interim champion. He's beaten half of the top 10. Tom Aspinall has more top 10.
That was my point. Tom Aspinall is the interim champion. He's had 10 wins against 10 top 10s, I believe. Or like anybody, top rankings, he's had 10 wins. He has had more heavyweight victories than Jon Jones.
Wins than even champions right now. How does he not deserve a title shot against you? But Stipe does, who hasn't fought in 3 years. And he compared Tom Aspinall to Johnny Walker. I understand where he's going with that, because when Walker was knocking people out before he ever lost to Corey Anderson, he was the guy that a lot of fans thought could beat Jon Jones. Even I was one of them during that time, because Johnny Walker looked unstoppable. Until fighters are able to fight against him, provide some offense against his style, and then show that Johnny Walker had no striking defense whatsoever, and no chin to go with it. So that went away very quickly. Tom Aspinall, though, there's a difference here. He's the interim champion. Johnny Walker never became champion. Johnny Walker didn't defeat half of the top 10, and he certainly didn't beat him all in the first round. Tom Aspinall has the shortest fight time in UFC history.
I did mention that. I did mention that. Oh dear, I did mention that Tom Aspinall had the shortest fight time in history. Also, Sergey Pavlovich is the guy that got smoked by Tom Aspinall, and he's 5th right now. Let's just let that sink in.
Shorter than someone like Shane Carwin, who is known for first-round knockouts. Tom Aspinall's breaking records and becoming a dominant force in the heavyweight division without even being the undisputed champion. What does Tom have to do to deserve that title shot in Jones' eyes? What does he have to do? Does he have to beat Cyril Gane? Does he have to beat Volkov after? Does he have to beat the whole top 15? Like, what does he have to do to get that title shot? He's done more than enough. The guy beat Volkov, Sergey, Blades, Tibora, Spivak. That's 5 fighters in the top 10. 5
fighters in the top 10 he smoked in the first round, baby. So if you don't believe that Tom Aspinall can beat Jon Jones, I don't know if you're blind or you're stupid.
Fighters that he has beaten, and he's in the top 10. So it's actually out of 9 opponents, and he's beaten 5 of them. What other heavyweight has done that besides maybe Stipe and maybe Francis? Maybe. I don't even know if Francis did that. But Tom Aspinall's a nobody who's cleaning out his division, which is unprecedented in the heavyweight division. He's cleaning out the weight class. How does he not deserve a title shot? That doesn't make any sense. The only logical matchup for Tom Aspinall at this point is Cyril Gane. If Cyril Gane beats Volkov, a guy who Aspinall easily beat in the first round, right? Volkov didn't last a single round with Aspinall. So I do understand where Jon Jones is coming from with saying, what if Tom Aspinall...
We're missionaries for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We invite you to come to church with us this Sunday. We know that as...
I do not want to come to church.
Aspinall is a nobody. What if someone beats him and then there goes that? He wasn't...
I don't want to go to church with you, just to clarify. Also, this guy is spitting facts right now on the chamber. Let's keep going. Let's keep watching it. I'm enjoying the vid.
Worth it. That's something sad about fighters who don't become champions, right? Tom Aspinall is a champion. You don't get to Tom Aspinall's position and be a nobody. It's impossible for that to happen. Unless the whole weight class are full of nobodies. Then why even fight Stipe? And Jones said why he's fighting Stipe.
Man said, that is actually crazy though. Because Jon Jones says, I don't want to say it, but Tom Aspinall is almost, he was going to say a nobody, yeah? But if we think about it, in UFC right now, who is a nobody? Who is a nobody? Who hasn't fought in almost 5 years? That is Stipe. Stipe hasn't fought in 4 to 5 years. If anybody is nobody in this sport, it would be him, because he's retired.
He's fighting Stipe because of legacy. It's the big name, right? Stipe Miocic, the greatest heavyweight of all time. Seeing that as one of the opponents that he's beaten, along the names of Daniel Cormier and Alexander Gustafsson and the older legends, it looks really good without the context of beating Stipe, right? He's beating Stipe at Stipe's worst. 42 years old, hasn't fought in 3 years, come off a knockout loss, has hinted that he's going to retire after.
I'm sorry, to clarify, 3 years.
No one thinks Stipe is going to win. Even MMA personalities that usually hype up every title fight to create interest don't even see Stipe winning. Even someone like Chael Sonnen is saying Stipe is going to get finished easily in the first round, which means we all have a new champion, guys. Congrats to Stipe on the successful comeback win. Stipe is just over the hill. He would have been a legit opponent in his prime. Miocic versus Jones like 4 years ago would have been a banger, but Stipe has been so inactive that Ilia Topuria was 2-0 in the UFC when Stipe last fought. Alex Pereira was still a kickboxer when Stipe last fought. He was still fighting in Glory Kickboxing, in another sport. We were in the Adesanya, Usman, and
Man was in a different sport back then. That's crazy.
Volk active era when Stipe last fought. Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Fedor Emelianenko were still fighting at the time. The UFC is in a different era now, but Stipe is getting an immediate title shot when he's not at his best. One could argue, but GSP, Jones, and Dominic Cruz pulled off big comeback wins after a long hiatus, so a fighter as great as Stipe can do it too. True, they did have the...
That's crazy though. I don't think Stipe wins. Stipe can't win. Bro, have you seen his last fight and his recent sparring footage? He looks slow, bro. He looks slow.
big comeback wins after like 4 years of a layoff. But GSP fought Bisping, Jones fought Cyril Gane, and Cruz wasn't even that old and fought Mizugaki and TJ. Trying to make a comeback against Jon Jones is like when Loki tried to make a comeback and ran into Hulk. Bro didn't stand a chance. Fans just aren't that interested to watch a legend like Stipe go into a fight he isn't good enough for anymore and get destroyed just like the betting gods are saying. Jon Jones is a near minus 700 favorite, and Stipe is a near plus 4.
That's crazy. That's a crazy statistic. That is a crazy statistic. That statistic is crazy though.
50 underdog. You don't see lopsided odds like that for title fights in the men's divisions. You see those when like Amanda Nunes is fighting or Chris Cyborg or Zhang Weili. You don't see that in the men's divisions that often in title fights. Those odds say enough about that title fight. Even Stipe's last rival, Francis Ngannou, had the same criticism. He doesn't see Stipe winning it. I don't know, maybe 20 years from now, the fans will forget that Stipe was way out of his prime. All they'll see is that Jon Jones one time beat the greatest heavyweight of all time, without knowing that Stipe was old, inactive, coming off a knockout loss, and was looking to retire after. It honestly looks like Stipe is just taking the fight for a big payday. Just make as much money as possible and then ride into the sunset, win or lose. Every fan wants Jones versus Aspinall. The fans do not want Jones versus Miocic, unless Miocic shows that he is still championship caliber by fighting one other contender. If Stipe can beat Blades or Volkov or Gane or even Sergey, then all doubt would be casted aside so Stipe could fight Jones. But I don't even think Stipe wants to fight another contender. He just wants this money fight. And I hear some people say that it's for Stipe. He deserves that kind of money fight. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy though. Man wants one more fight and then just sail off to the sunset. So even if he wins his title, it's a lose-lose situation. Because if Stipe wins his title, he's not gonna fight he's not gonna fight Tom Aspinall. If Jon Jones wins this, he's not gonna fight Tom Aspinall. It's a lose-lose situation. Doesn't matter who wins.
As I agree, but without the title. He doesn't get the money fight in expense of watering down the heavyweight title, in expense of the interim champion, and even the contenders. It's a slap in the face to the entire heavyweight division. It makes the division look like it's more of a joke than it already is. Jones versus Stipe would have been perfect without a title on the line. Have them have their money fight, right? For legacy that Jones wants and the money fight that Stipe wants, headline a card with it, everybody would have been fine with a fight like that. But with the undisputed title on the line and making Aspinall wait for his deserved title fight, this is the first time in UFC history where there's a ready interim champion that isn't fighting for the undisputed title. And again, the fight itself is fine. It's just that they have the undisputed title in that fight while having an interim champion who's ready. Jones was ready too. I understand they had they agreed to fight each other before, right? Stipe and Jones did want to fight each other before. But when you have an interim champion,
That's crazy. Interim champions are supposed to fight heavyweight champions. So let's keep going.
can't just go on with the Stipe fight anymore, right? And it looks like now Jon Jones is going to retire after he fights Stipe. Which honestly, when you look at the win against Stipe and then not fighting Aspinall, it's more of a takeaway from Jones than it is giving him any kind of legacy points, you know? Avoiding Tom Aspinall by saying that he's essentially a nobody. He's a comparison to Johnny Walker. What if Tom Aspinall gets a few more title wins? Tom Aspinall can easily become one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. Very soon, too. Who does he have left to beat? Jones and Stipe retires, right? Let's say Tom Aspinall fights Ciryl Gane and finishes him in the first round. Then who does he fight? A rematch with Volkov finishes him in the first round just like last time. There's not a single heavyweight.
This is what happens when your kids get to the HelloFresh box before you do.
Not this idea.
Tonight we're having HelloFresh's quick and easy pesto chicken tray.
Not
That's
that
ever
advert.
cleaned out the weight class. Tom Aspinall would be the first one to do it. And the
Yeah, he would have to, if he wanted to fight anybody else, he'd literally have to rematch him. Like, there's no one else for Tom Aspinall to beat, bro. He's beaten them all.
only reason some people will not say that Tom is the greatest heavyweight ever with a few more wins is because he wasn't the undisputed champion. But that's not his fault. He was trying to become the undisputed champ. The undisputed champion did not want to fight him. Tom fought twice for the interim belt. He defended the interim belt before ever fighting for the undisputed title. That's only ever happened one other time that I can remember with Hedon Barao. But that was because Dominic Cruz was legitimately injured the whole time. He couldn't fight. Jon can fight. He could fight Tom Aspinall, but he just doesn't want to, which he said actually multiple times already that he doesn't care about Tom Aspinall. And here's the thing about the heavyweight title too, man. Jones could have just vacated the title if he wanted, and it would not
Yeah, he could just have vacated it, man.
hurt him whatsoever. Jones doesn't need the title. He's above the title at this point. He's a big superstar. He does not need the title to sell his fights. He is the reason people watch his fights, not because of the title. I think Jones is way above it at this point in order to sell his fights. And him and Stipe, title or not, would sell probably the same, right? Nobody's watching Jones versus Stipe to see who's the best heavyweight. They're watching Jones versus Stipe as a legacy fight. The greatest light heavyweight of all time versus the greatest heavyweight of all time. That's the only reason people are watching the fight. Not because who's the best in that weight class. Because obviously Stipe is not anymore. The fight for who is the best heavyweight is Jones versus Aspinall. That's what that fight is. This is a legacy fight that has nothing to do with the current rankings. That has nothing to do with who's currently the best fighter.
Sorry, guys, but I'm just listening to this man spit facts real quick. This man is just dropping bombs left and right.
Is just about greatest of one division versus the greatest of another division. It's kind of like, imagine Islam Makhachev fighting GSP right now, right? If you think Islam is the greatest lightweight. Or like Jose Aldo versus Dominic Cruz. It's a fight like that, essentially. The only difference is Jon Jones is the undisputed champion of the heavyweight division. So it's going to sell more because he hasn't lost yet, right? He's still winning. If he lost, it would have been a whole different fight. People wouldn't be as interested in it. I think the hardcore fans don't care about the fight, but they'll watch every.
Why would you put these two against each other? It's a retired firefighter versus a guy who still trains and is a wife beater, which is crazy.
Fight regardless. The casual fans, they are interested in the fight, most likely, because they probably don't understand that Stipe's not in his prime anymore. And after Jones absolutely bulldozes Stipe, they're going to say, look what Jones just did to the greatest heavyweight. Insane. That's crazy, though. For the integrity of the sport, that's why a lot of us fans want to see this fight. It's not like we want to see Jones lose, right? I'm pretty sure there's some people that want that. The interim champion should not be defending his interim belt when the undisputed champion is available to fight, right? Jones is kind of talking about how Canelo's talking about Benavidez. We don't want to see that. So it looks like Jones and Miocic are most likely going to retire after their fights, and Tom Aspinall, he's not going to get the credit, but the man's nearly clean out his weight class. And so many fans don't even realize that. Who else does he fight after Ciryl Gane? There's no one left. He beat everybody. Who's he fight? Jalton Almeida? That's the next contender. That's the next contender that he has not fought yet. And then after that would be Rosenstrike, then Derek Lewis. These are the heavyweights left for Tom Aspinall because he beat the actual good ones. He beat every legit heavyweight besides Ciryl Gane after Jones and Miocic.
He literally has no one else to fight. Literally.
Tired. Ciryl Gane's the only one left. He's the only contender left. Until we start seeing Tom fight Rosenstrike, Almeida, Derek Lewis, Tai Tuivasa, unless Alex comes up and fights him, right? And that's another guy that Jon Jones wanted to fight. He wanted to fight Alex. I love Alex Pereira, but he's an easier fight, man. Yes, Alex has the legacy behind him too, and I know that's what Jones wants. And I am sure that if Tom Aspinall had that kind of legacy, if he was known as one of the greatest, I think Jones would fight him, but everybody knows that Alex is the easier fight. A lot easier of a fight. He doesn't have a ground game compared to Tom. Jones is going to take him down.
I did tell you this. I said wrestling. G.
to do what he did to Ciryl Gane. The Alex fight is going to be just like the Ciryl Gane fight. If that fight goes to the ground, there is nothing Alex can do to Jones. His Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and takedown defense are getting better, but they're not near the level of Jones. He needs years of training to be able to fend off Jon Jones wrestling. Tom Aspinall, his background is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's a good wrestler. He's very fast at his feet. He has the grappling. He knows grappling first before striking. It's more natural to him. He's also bigger. He's got the physical attributes of height, weight, strength, speed, all of it. And here's the other thing. That is the only fight left for Jon Jones. There's no one left for him to fight. If he beats Tom, the fans aren't going to be looking at some new contender. I know that's what he thinks. He thinks the fans are going to be looking at Volkov or Sergey or even Alex. No, the fans would not. If he beats Tom Aspinall, there is no one left. Jones could just retire from there if he wants, or would do whatever else he wants. Tom is not just some random contender. He's not just some random fighter. The guy's the interim champion who's needed to clean out his weight class and has the skills that the fans believe could test Jon.
That's some crazy shit.
Jones on a different level. A lot of the fans believe that Tom would beat
Different
Jones.
level.
He's well-rounded enough. He's fast enough. He hits hard enough. He's the most dangerous opponent in Jones's entire career. Nobody he's ever fought is as dangerous as Aspinall. Even when you look back at Rumble would have been the most dangerous, right? One of the best knockout artists of all time. There's not one fighter ever that was as dangerous as Tom Aspinall. Because not only can he knock you out with one punch, not only is he the fastest heavyweight, along with Ciryl Gane, that we've ever seen, but he's got the grappling to go with it. That's the one big thing that separates him from all the other finishers of the heavyweight division and the light heavyweight division. We're the most dangerous light heavyweights and heavyweights of all time. Francis Ngannou, Shane Carwin, Rumble, all those guys were strikers. None of those guys can submit you as fast as they can knock you out like Tom Aspinall. That's the biggest thing about Tom. He can knock you out quickly and submit you quickly. I don't think Jones is saying that to avoid Tom because he doesn't think he could beat Tom. I think he believes he can win that fight. I don't think he's actually ducking him because he's scared of Tom. I think when he says he's looking for the legacy fights, I believe him. I think that is what he wants.
He's ducking though. Don't give him the out. He is ducking him. He's ducking him. He is scared. He is scared. Trust me, he is scared. Why else would he not fight him? I don't care if he's looking for a legacy fight, because if he wants a legacy, he needs to fight my GOAT, Tom Aspinall, who's never ever gonna lose a fight again. Thank you for watching. This has been your boy, CM Reacts, and see you in the next CM Reacts video, baby.